Hey everybody, welcome to Banner and Chance. Woo! It's exciting. We are on to part two of a session where we are deep in the mind of Uncle Burkle. But before we get there, let us go around the table. I'd like the players just to introduce themselves once more. So introduce yourself and your character, please.
Okay, I'm Brad, and I play Rogar Norixius, the Dragonborn Paladin.
I am Shady, and I play the young Runt. She is a rogue.
And I'm Luna. I play Geen. She is a human monk.
Fantastic. We're going to get right into it tonight. I'm traveling, and so I'm in a makeshift studio with mobile equipment, but I'm feeling fairly confident that everything should be just fine. So let's get into where we were last time on Banner and Chance. Our party left Harrowdale to help the High Harvest Mistress of Chantia try to negotiate a peace among two warring factions of the Grey Patriots mercenary group. This boiled down into a vicious fight, and in the middle of it, a shadow-clad, evil bard-like Shadakar elf appeared and triggered a bunch of sleeper Karathur fighters and enemies, seeing most of the Greycloaks now fighting their own with tar-streaked faces, signaling that they had been possessed or taken over, or their minds had been manipulated in some way. With all of this, Geen and Kane and Runt were on an armored wagon that was tear-assing across the countryside, and they managed to get into this wagon where they found Uncle Burkle. Dispatching the driver, getting control of the wagon, Runt lit off back to the camp where she helped Rogar dispatch a large Minotaur foe. And as Rogar and Runt and the High Harvestress gathered the widows and the broken and the children and what remained of the Greycloaks forces, they left as refugees back to Harrowdale. Meanwhile, Kane and Geen took this armored wagon back to Harrowdale before the main throng of people arrived back at the Chantian Temple. They were able to get Burkle to safety down into the deep catacombs and cellars of the Bounty, this underground storage area where they had been given a fortified position. Later, the Harvestress, Rogar and Runt joined them, and with the help of the Myconid that they had left there, Pivik, they were brought into the mind of Burkle, descending into this ethereal space, down a silvery strand, and onto a four-spoked wheel. This four-spoked wheel was off-kilter, and these bridges, these long spokes that extended from it, were hanging in space, while these four gates circled around it. There was a courtyard in the middle of these four large half-bridges. This is a massive structure, and in it was this malfunctioning fountain. Our adventurers were able to figure out that by adjusting the water flow and getting it to a certain speed, they were able to control the synchronization of this large wheel so it could match up with these gates. The ends of these bridges locked into place, and now they are each capped with this portal, and they're quite a ways off in the distance. We haven't been down there yet. In the process of doing this wheel began to spin very, very quickly. And although he grasped on to these Luhix vines, Cain was tossed off into the darkness. Panicking, or out of concern and in an attempt to save her comrade, Geen leapt after him. At the end of last session, they awoke. Geen awoke back in the warm, dry apartment, fortified position that had been given inside the bounty, with the High Harvestress still trying to summon all of her healing abilities to keep Burkle alive, and Pevik still casting spores. But upon leaving these balances, both Cain and Geen suffered terrible psychic damage, blood spilling from their noses. Geen has roused, and the High Harvestress has said, "You must get back in there." Cain is not moving. Geen, we are in the apartment, and you are on your bed. Deep underground, this apartment carved into the chalk cellars underneath the Chantian temple. The Chantian priestesses are around administering healing now to Cain. One has come over to you with a damp cloth to wipe the blood from your nose. And the High Harvestress, over top of Burkle, looks at you and repeats herself. "Child, you must get back in there. They need your help. I can't hold him forever."
What about Cain?
The sisters will see to him. And I wish he was with you. He knew Burkle more than any of you. It could be very dangerous in there without him. They will see to him. If they can rouse him, I will have him join you. But do not count on it, my child. Now go. Ready yourself. And do not find yourself cast out of his mind again. She goes back to her work, chanting lowly under her breath, and you can see silvery energy dripping from her fingertips like vines, coursing over Burkle's face and chest as she attempts to keep him stabilized. And he is writhing.
Is Cain's bed next to mine?
Cain's bed is next to yours.
Okay.
Off
Is he-
kilter?
Is he within arm's reach?
Yes, he is.
Okay, then as I am about to lie down and go back under, I just kind of want to reach over and just wherever I can, like, just touch him, his shoulder, his hand, whatever, just give him like a little light squeeze and then just close my eyes and go under.
Holding his hand, stretched between you, your heads pointed at Burkle, as if you are the spokes of a wheel around him. You're able to hold his hand. You feel, you see Pevik raise his arms again. And once again, extends his forearms, and spores emanate from his pincered hands. And you find yourself drifting again. In a familiar space, you find yourself in the middle of darkness on a silvery line, suspended in darkness. Only this time you can hear faint voices down below you, and this familiar thrum.
How many feet do I think it's to the top of the statue?
You have no idea at this point. It's pitch black.
Okay. How does falling damage go again? It's every 10 feet is how many?
Ooh.
It's a D6 or?
Well, you are able to slide down this rope, this filament.
Okay.
If you are, I can find it. If you're absolutely bent on taking a jump.
Well, I think what I would do is I'd wrap my arm, like one arm and one leg, on the silver wire, and slide down. But as soon as I see the top of the statue, then in haste I want to leap towards it.
Sure, go ahead.
And
You can do that.
I have slow fall, so it reduces any falling damage by 25.
Sure.
So
you'll take 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet, to a maximum of 20d6. So.
Okay, well, I guess I wouldn't jump until I see the head of the statue. So.
And as you say, at 4th level, you can reduce falling damage by half. Reaction when you fall is to reduce any falling damage you take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. So
that's 25.
Yeah. So you can, as soon as you feel, you just tell me at what height you want to leap off the wire, and you are able.
Let's do 40 feet, because maximum that's 24 damage. So
sure.
Yeah, 40 feet.
Okay, so you begin to course down the wire, and at 40 feet, you place your feet against that wire and spring off onto the edge. You can see that the structure is moving beneath you. So I'll also have you roll an acrobatics check, please, to see how you land. Dex, if you like.
Yeah. 15.
Okay, yeah. You land. You can feel that your feet have trouble catching purchase on this large swinging disc of a courtyard. And for the rest of you, it's as though you catch a flash of movement and see Geen, cat stance down as she lands with a thrum down on the space. I'm going to say that you take no damage in the fall, though. Okay, Geen? Because I think it was executed and we are not in normal space. So the three of you and Bilquorn are now reunited. You are in the middle of this large spinning disc, but your feet feel quite solid. And from your perception, even though you can sort of gauge that there is movement, everything seems to be relatively stable, because of course the only reference that you had before that something was spinning were these gates, and they are now fixed at the end of these long arms. These arms, by the way, the two that are at 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock, if you want to put it that way, or we could say south and east, are clear. There is no Luhix running over the causeway. And you can see that the gates at the end, all slightly different shapes, are there. The two that are at 9 and 12, Luhix is spreading out over these and is kind of snaking its way over the alabaster or whatever stone that there is, coursing out of sight. Less and less detail as it gets farther out on the arms of this structure. And you're standing together, or around this fountain.
We have a problem.
We have lots of problems.
Okay, we have a big problem. Kane is unconscious. He's not coming back.
Okay, but he's alive, so that's good.
Yes, but we're gonna have to do this ourselves without him.
Okay, so which way do we go?
Are all of the water that's spewing out of the faces like relatively the same pressure, or
You've adjusted it so that the same pressure, and now there is a steady cycling of the water. And the water is running quite clear now, and the Luhix has receded. Black, sappy vines have almost withered and begun to wash away, and the rest of them are kind of crawling back from the withering back from this fountain.
and the two that are clear were they the ones that we were all hacking at?
Yes, the two that were clear were the faces of laughter, and another one which was a bearded with these curls, these scroll-like curls in the beard and the hair, and closed eyes, and a eye in the center of the forehead.
Okay.
The other two were a face in a perpetual yell with water jetting out of it, and the other one was a grimacing face with eyes jetting out of the eyes. Sorry, water jetting out of the eyes, as if sobbing so uncontrollably that it was just a fire hose coming out.
How did those two get clear, but these two are still not?
They already
Did you
were
see
clear.
it? They were already clear before?
We had to clear the other two. Aspects of his personality that are affected the most.
So what do? We just cut it like we did before?
Gesturing to one of the doors that has the passage that is covered in Luix. Say, it seems as though there's something there. I don't know what lies on the other side of these doors.
You can also see, Rogar, that the Luhix covered half bridges, the causeways. They are each lined up. Each has a face in front of it, right? In terms of these faced spigots.
Which one is the one at 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock will be the one with the eye. So for all of our references, the one with the eye is at 12 o'clock.
Is clear.
Yes, the one at 3 o'clock will be the tears. The sad face.
Not clear.
Yes, the one at 6 o'clock will be the yell.
Not clear. And the other one's clear.
And the last one will be the laughing face at 9 o'clock. The eye and laughing are not clear. Tears and yell are both clear causes.
Wait, I thought laughter and the Cyclops one was clear and the sad and angry one weren't.
Sorry, you had to chop the Luhix off of the eye and the laughter, and those are also the causeways that are most covered in Luhix that has not been cleared yet. Where there was no Luhix over tears and yelling, and whatever these faces are, the causeways were clear.
So we need to clear out the laughter and the Cyclopsy one?
It's not so much that you can't traverse it. It's more that it's just grown over the you have to step around it. You have to step through it.
Those aspects of his personality are the ones quelled the most.
It's just matted over top in sort of crisscrossing vines.
I'm trying to write this down and I'm getting very confused.
Sure.
So the laughter and the Cyclops are they clear or are they not clear? Do we have to clear them out?
They are covered causeways, and you'll have to step through it.
So those two we still need to fix. The other two are fixed.
Oh, the fountains themselves are all working. They're all cleared out. It's the causeways behind those faces that are covered. The spigots themselves, the fountain is working. The fountain is clear. Okay.
So so all four of them still need to be fixed?
Nope, they're all operating normally.
I'm really
Okay,
confused. I
so
need a visual.
No problem. So the 4-pronged wheel is now clear on. Sorry, the fountain in the middle. The fountain in the middle has four faces. Those 4 faces are all clear. You've adjusted the flow, and there is a steady cyclone in the middle of that, whirlpool in the middle of that. Behind each of the faces is a causeway, an arm, a half bridge that reaches out to a portal. If you are standing, what you'll consider 12 o'clock north, is the eye. Behind the eye is a causeway that has black vines growing over its surface, not impeding anything, but you can see it growing over its surface and heading over the arch. If you turn to your right, you will see the crying face. Behind that, the causeway appears clear. Turn again. Now it's 6 o'clock south. You will see the yelling face, the angry face, and behind it, the causeway is clear. When you come around again at 9 o'clock west, you will see the smiling face, the laughing face, flowing freely, but behind it, the causeway, like the first, is not clear. So it's sort of, you can, when we think about these 4 causeways, 2 of them are clear and 2 of them have evidence of Luhix. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
Okay. Let's go forward, and while we go, while you talk, I will attempt to draw something very quickly.
We've only cleared portions of his mind, which is why the statue looks differently now.
So we go cut the Luhix, or we get rid of the Luhix?
I think there's something beyond the portals themselves. I know not.
To get to the portal, we need to go through the Luhix.
It
right?
shouldn't impede our progress. It doesn't move in the way in which you think. It wouldn't hurt to tear.
He said we just have
off.
to step around it, remember?
Yeah.
So we don't have to cut it, we just have to step around it to get there.
It wouldn't hurt to cut pieces away, but it's what's behind the door that bothers me the most.
So do we have to, each of these has a door we have to open?
There's a portal at the other side of every half bridge or causeway.
So 4 portals?
Yes, I think if I'm understanding it correctly.
That's right.
Okay.
So what do we go through first?
I think the one that has the eye and the center of the mind is the one that relates the most to his madness.
So we open the door and think.
Working?
A little bit. I like the faces though. Those are my favorite things.
It's really bright contrast.
Yeah. I can see the bottom, but not the top part.
Okay.
I can see the Luhix though.
Whoops.
It fell.
I just got to adjust my camera real quick. Okay.
That's better. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is mirrored, so that's never eat shredded wheat, right? So never eat shredded wheat. 12, 3, 6, 9. Got it? Oh.
Other way.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Well, it might be mirrored, but anyway.
Yeah.
You get it. 2 of them are covered in Luhix in red. 2 are clear.
Right.
Okay?
Do you remember the memories of Cain that we experienced?
I do, with his family and his uncle and his father saying that he has to say goodbye to Burkle because of some reason.
Do you remember that each vision had sometimes an overlaying emotion attached to it? Some of them were happy, others less so. I think that's what we're experiencing here. We're literally inside his mind.
So, what memory matches the face with the single eye?
I don't think it's a memory. I think it's literally his mind itself. The Luhix has taken over his body, and because it's been in his body so long, it's also poisoned his mind. Just like in your meditation, where you've talked about the mind's eye.
I wonder if I should try something, but the last time I tried it, something bad happened. Do you remember that man that was in Luhix, that was tied up?
I remember
Oh.
it vividly. The one that I had to dispatch. Yes.
That was
Sorry,
very
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Well, before that happened, I was in the hole and I rang my meditation bowl. And I think it had something to do with those ropes disappearing. I don't know, would it be bad to ring it inside here? If it makes,
I mean, the worst that happens is his head explodes or something, but I mean, that's okay, right?
well, we're inside, so if it explodes, we explode,
Oh.
right?
No, do not ring the bell. The bell's bad. No, do not ring the bell.
Okay.
I say we just pick a door.
Well, before we pick a door and if anything comes out, does anybody have any more of those healing potions? Because jumping after Cain and getting out really gave me a bad migraine.
Oh.
I'm down from on top of the statue. I'll offer you a hand down.
I'll jump down.
As soon as our hands are clasped, I will give you back the amount of hit points that you lost.
Oh, wait. From the psychic damage?
Mm-hmm.
How much was that? 18?
16.
16? Sweet. You're the best, Rogar.
It really is.
So we go to the one-eyed door and open it and pray nothing bad comes out?
Well, we have two doors. The one with the mind and the one with the face.
Well, I'll go to whatever door you think is best. Because you seem to have a better understanding of this than me.
I'm just guessing, but perhaps we should go with an emotion first and the mind second.
Okay.
So let us head west.
The west route will take you to the past the smiling face.
That's the one that also is Luhix covered, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we'll go to that one.
Okay.
He obviously has some good memories that he's lost.
Okay. You begin to walk down. You begin to walk down this large alabaster causeway. It's like you're arching out over a bridge, and it feels as though it's rising away from this courtyard that you left. And where there was sand and cobble under your feet, it quickly turns into well-fit stones, randomly placed, colorful, little flecks of color coming out of them, but all obscured by strands of crisscrossing luhix, large tendrils and vines that are woody underfoot and that you have to be careful not to trip on as you move around them as you would a garden hose or something. The luhix has extended from the center of the causeway and seems to be wrapping up and over one side, dominating one side of these, and wrapping underneath. And as you crest the top of this, traveling what you seems to be 200, 300 meters, you see this arching this arching portal in front of you, like the entrance to a large castle, hanging in space with a type of veranda at the front. And the luhix there has also grown, and you can see it's actually starting to interweave with the end that just locked with it. But there is a mass of luhix on that causeway off to the left-hand side of it. When you look at it, it's quite huge, easily 50 meters across this door, and you can hear voices in behind it. You can hear sort of murmurs in behind it, very quiet. The door itself is covered in the same alabaster and comes up to a slow arc, and the lines of carving seem to play and dance, and there's childlike images all the way up on it, and you can see little carvings and whatnot. And then off to the left is this huge sort of knot and pile of luhix, interwoven and just arching up. It's about 4 feet off the ground, and just seems the luhix has grown up and over, and is tightly wound. And you're now just stepping onto that platform.
Do the voices have any depth to them? We're able to tell from where we're standing whether or not they're male or female.
You hear an absolute cacophony of voices, although they're very, very muted, as if in behind a cave wall or something. You can hear elements of laughter and children's voices and interesting sort of joyous sounds emanating from behind these doors. But you can see no keyhole.
But there is a tumorous mass to the left of the door.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to describe it. A tumorous mass.
So there's like no doorknob or anything like that, and no keyhole?
You can see a vertical cut coming down at as if there's space for something to open, but no keyhole.
Can I put my hand on the space? Do I feel any air coming through?
You feel the sense that there is something in behind.
Is the mass so tightly woven that we can't see anything underneath?
You can definitely investigate.
Okay, I'd like to take a look at it and see if I can figure out what exactly it's covering or what it's wrapped around.
Sure. Roll investigation for me, if you wouldn't mind, and describe to me how you're going to go about doing that.
It's an 18. And I'm thinking something along the lines of a lever.
Okay.
If it's obviously standing up erect, then with the mass up around it, then perhaps it's wrapped around.
All right. So are you on the top of this mass? This mass is 15, 20 feet across.
Oh,
4 feet
yes.
high.
Yeah, I'll be standing on it.
Okay. If you begin to clear it away, and indeed you find a tubular object just beneath the surface, as you tear away the Luhix, you can see this alabaster type object heading down. Silvery, almost metallic. And as you continue to clear it away, you can see that there's a hole in the end of it.
A hole in the end of it up?
A hole in the end of it down, as if it's
Okay,
open
yeah.
tube.
Right, okay.
Find anything?
There's a tube over here. It's made of the same substance as the bridge. I need to clear more away.
As you do, you can see that the tube descends downwards, and around 7 or 8 inches below it, you see holes in the side of the tube.
Do we put something in the tube?
Does the tube look like it's caught by the Luhix? Meaning, it's trapped. Okay, I have a notion. I'm going to continue to tear a little bit more aggressively now with my claws.
And you're able to pull the tube out now.
And it resembles something flute-like.
Something flute-like.
Okay.
Something you could almost describe as a flute.
Okay.
Anybody know how to play?
I want you to roll. I guess it would continue to be investigation, if you would, for one more time.
Investigation this time.
Does that sound? That sounds right. I think.
Okay. Not so great that time. Only a 4.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what this is.
What are you doing, Runt, as this is going on?
Probably just waiting for them to tell me what to do.
Okay. So Runt is standing off to the sides. With her
Yes.
hands inside, sort of rocking back.
Yeah, probably. Throwing
Seeing-
rocks.
You're asking questions of Rogar. Rogar, you're still on top of this mass of Luhix.
Yeah, I'll step down off of the mass and bring it over to the 2.
Sure.
So we're not just talking at a distance, but I'll be holding it within 2 claws, cradling it. Don't drop the the important object.
Sure.
It looks like a wind instrument.
You can see the carvings just barely etched in the surface of vines and moons and suns, just sort of gently carved into the side of it. And it's strangely familiar. Also, I'll tell you that although you pulled this out of the Luhix was a substantial mass, and this was simply sort of stuck into the top of it. Right.
I'll hold it out to Run and say, hold this.
Okay.
I'm going to go see what else there is.
What's it smell like?
When you smell it, it smells like tea, like jasmine tea, like flowers and fine wine.
I want to touch it with my tongue.
It tastes like rice wine.
Okay.
Can you play Runt?
I can play the drums.
It's a little
Do you want me
different.
to hit something with it?
I don't want you to break it.
Oh. So no.
Rogar, are you back at the pile?
Back to the mass. Yes, and I'm really putting my back into it this time,
Sure.
grabbing
And
as much as I can and pulling.
Keen and
heavily.
Runt, if you can just both roll, I guess it would also be. Oof. Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to continue on with investigation. Yes.
Ooh.
My investigation is garbage. 14.
Still pretty good garbage.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I also got a 14.
All right. Familiar, but you're not exactly sure how, but it's on the tip of your tongue. Rogar, you redouble your efforts. Are you at the top of the mass again?
Yes, absolutely.
You're digging down in that pit, and the first thing you find, a few inches below where you pulled out where there's evidence of a gap, is a white alabaster hand extending up like this. Long, slender fingers, female, if you were to guess. Large.
And nothing attached to it,
Nope,
or is that just
it
the next thing?
It descends down into the luhix. You can see, as if carved in alabaster, a gossamer type flowing sleeve, also descending beneath the luhix.
Okay. Is it a right hand or a left hand?
It is a right hand.
A right hand. Is there a spot where the head would be that still, if it is indeed a statue that is covered in luhix?
You could sense that where you clambered onto the statue, it was a more gradual rise. You would imagine that would be where the legs and feet would be, and then down away from you is the shoulder, and what you could assume would be where the head would be.
I'm curious about the possibility of a head to identify whom it is, who it is.
So what would you like to do?
Continue to work there.
Tearing away,
Pulling, yeah.
with the luhix. Soon you find that you indeed uncover the side of a head, larger than a human head, but to scale with the flute, which would be larger than a normal flute. And you can see a face. And that is the face of the minstrel Brightsong.
Lady Brightsong.
Lady Brightsong.
Come see.
Oh. She play a flute?
She played many things.
Oh. These happy feelings are connected to Lady Brightsong?
That's where the story began.
True. But how does this help us get this door open?
I have to assume that the flute belongs to her.
No,
Come
the
help me
flute
clear-
belongs to me now. It's mine. Thank you.
Come help
So
me
I can
clear
play
away the
it?
rest of the roots.
I'm gonna hold it like a straw and blow on it.
Doesn't sound so flutish.
No.
Wrong hole, Runt.
Okay, flip it over to the other end. Blow on that.
It sort of makes a hollow, airy sound. No music escapes.
Okay, well, I don't want the stupid thing anyway. Here, take it.
I'll take it. Can I try and play it like a side flute, like this type of flute?
You can.
Okay, I want to try and just see if I can make a sound come out.
You're able to cast a note and a small tune. Do you have any skill with the flute?
No.
No. So you're able to sort of make the start of a note. As you do, Rogar, you notice the hand flex and the head shift, and one of the eyes of this statue-like figure open as she's got her head sideways on the floor.
Is the eye focused upon anything, or has it just opened in response?
It's opened in response and it's scanning.
Okay.
And then you can see it sort of try to shift as Geen continues to blow.
Okay.
But it's stuck. It's held fast to the floor.
All right. Well, the next thing that would be most helpful would be torso and legs. So I'll go down to where the feet are and begin to fight there.
You can
freeing
see-
the feet.
You're able to claw through this Luhix now. It seems with the playing of the music, even the small amount of sound, it appears more brittle now, and it's breaking under your hands, and you're able to clear it frantically. You're pulling at it, and you release the lower half, the lower torso of this statue. Now the mass is almost a wall in front of you as you reach the waist. Geen and Runt standing behind you. You're tossing these wooden tendrils behind you and off the edge of the this escarpment. And in fairly short work, you have uncovered this statue that lays breathing slowly in front of you. Shattered Luhix around and underneath it.
How big is it compared to me in terms of height, give or take?
You would estimate that it stands 12 to 14 feet tall.
Okay.
But it is definitely a representation of the Lady Brightsong.
All right. Geen, the flute.
Yeah.
Hand me the flute, please.
Here you go. Dozo.
I will step forward and place the flute very gently inside the palm of the right hand.
The palm closes around it. You see the statue take a deep breath, release the breath. You hear Lady Brightsong's voice say, "Thank you. Please help me up."
Okay. I've got 510 pounds of drag.
She pushes her left arm underneath her. With your help, she's able to get to her knees. And then this statue-like figure begins to rise up, and now it's looming over all of you. And says, "Hello. How are you? I haven't had visitors for so long."
Well, we're not so good, actually.
There were
What-
people here before?
There are many here. The way is closed now. But welcome. It's so great to have someone here.
We need help. Burkle needs your help.
I love Virgil. He's wonderful. He fills me with joy.
Well, in the state that he's in right now, I don't think he would fill you with joy.
Ah, I see. Well, that would explain why there are no travelers passing my gate.
How do we open your gate?
Opening it is easy. I can open it now if you wish, but I would say you can never have too much of a good thing.
She's kind of giving me the creeps right now.
If she can open this gate, that means there are other things at the other gates that can open them.
Why,
And-
yes, absolutely there are. You're a wonderful person.
Yeah, I don't like her. We need to go.
We need to finish this.
I think you like me more than you realize. Maybe you just need to get to know me.
No, thank you. Okay, so like have her open the door or something?
I can open it now if you wish.
Maybe we should wait. If we open it now and people come out, where are they going to go?
Well, they'll step onto the balances, of course.
Do they just stand around?
Oh, no. No. They will move to the center, as all must.
And just stand in the
Burkle
center?
has so many that you would love to meet.
I don't know if bringing a bunch of people out while the others are still broken is a good idea.
You are a smart person. I like you very much.
I never get that. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Would you like a hug?
No, thank you.
Oh, okay. Do you know any jokes?
Oh, I know a joke. I know a good joke. Okay, so, okay. Why did the Scarecrow win an award?
Why?
He was outstanding in his field.
Ah! And she laughs with this boisterous, melodic kind of chuckle. You've heard this laugh before, emanating from Lady Brightsong when you dined at her table, but this is booming, and it is coming out. And then several of the voices in behind the door you can hear are kind of laughing in unison, and it's almost as if a crowd of people have started to laugh, an audience has started to laugh. You just let me know when you would like me to open this door. But I think that your plan is great. And you're such wonderful people. Thank you for helping me with this predicament. It's so lovely to meet you.
I think I
Okay.
prefer the real Bright Song better. She wasn't this cheery.
Yeah, that is a little bit weird.
Rogar, which one should we go to next?
Mind's eye. I'll look up to the statue and say, "We'll return. I'm glad to have freed you."
You just call on me anytime you'd like, and I will open these doors. And you can meet so many of the people who will bring you joy and love.
Question before we go.
Yes.
Do you know the people behind those doors?
Oh. I know all of them.
Do any of them look like me?
Many of them. Hundreds of them.
Does one of them really look like me?
Hundreds of them.
Okay. Let's go.
And there's one out here that looks like you too.
Where?
That's you, I think she's talking about.
Oh. Okay, I don't feel very smart anymore.
She's my sister. You'll meet her soon enough. She's across the way.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I want to be power walking.
Yeah.
All right,
Here.
you quickly power walk away from this, and as she waves and laughs, I love the joke.
That
Oh,
was a
okay.
pretty good
And you
joke,
can see
Ryan.
her
Thank
sort
you,
of
thank
clearing off her. She begins to attend to her flute, and just tell me when you'd like me to play the tune. As you descend over the rise, you're back in the courtyard, and now you're facing the fountain.
She said something about scales. All must stand on the scales.
Okay.
So, like, we're supposed to stand on top of Rogar?
Not quite.
But I don't know anybody else with no skills, so...
Well, like a balance of weight.
Ah, okay. So, like, do we need more people?
Now, I have a feeling that whatever's on the other side of that door is, again, too much. All of
So-
these need to be in complete balance, or else his mind could tip.
So, we go the other way?
We'll try the one with the mind's eye.
Okay.
Okay.
You head down that. Again, it's covered in luhix. You continue towards the end of it, like you did before. The luhix is even thicker on this one. And they're on the right side this time, slumped a large tumorous mass of luhix, as you said before.
Do you need some help looking in there, Rogar, or?
It will be something similar to what we found before, I believe. But yes. I'll begin work at the head if you'll work towards the feet. I believe it's the exact same as it was before. Or at the very least, we'll find out.
Yo, guys. And I start taking out my sword and just chop, chop, chop.
You quickly uncover the sandals, or I should say boots, pardon me, of a man, Geen, as you're working at the feet. Rogar, you uncover the head of a man. As you are working past the shoulder, you see a emblem on the stone cloak of this statue, and it is the emblem of Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm. And the face just happens to be...
Stefan,
Oh.
you've seen this face before. It's Kane's father.
This will be an interesting conversation. Okay, continue up to the middle.
Runt, do you want to get on my shoulders and chop?
Sure, I can chop. What about Bill Corn? Make him do something.
Bill Corum is back at the fountain, pacing nervously.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna climb up on her shoulders and start.
Sure. This statue is sitting with its legs out and its head sort of in its fist like that. And as you clear it, you see that it's holding nothing. Pardon me, but it's holding its arm. Its one arm is against its face, and the other one is outstretched like this, as if it was looking at it. There is nothing in that hand that it's looking at.
Do
Can I
Runt
walk
and
up?
I know that it's Stefan yet, or no?
Yes, you can see clearly that it's the face of Kane's father.
I want to walk up and give it a 5.
It's cold stone.
What was important to Kane's father? His book?
No.
Kane said that he was a very good war mage? Is that the right word? I don't know.
He commented about his brother. His brother was very skilled. His father went missing.
But he was also in the military. So he could do magics as well?
You said there was like another tumorous mass, like the one we found the flute in nearby.
You've
or-
just uncovered it, and you've uncovered the body. There is more
Okay.
Luhix off to the side of this statue, pushed up onto the door.
So I guess we start digging through that too.
Yeah, I'll put Runt down and just start hacking.
You quickly uncover a large stone tome. What appears to be the carving of a leather-bound, buckled book.
Makes sense.
Yep, buddy. Can we pick it up? Is it too heavy for us?
For you, it's quite heavy, probably 200 pounds.
Okay, not gonna happen. Rogar?
Yes, I can carry it.
You can reach down and pick up this massive slab of stone, likely even more than 200 pounds. It takes much of your... It's heavier than it looks.
And encumbered, which I will be, I will begin shifting my weight slowly, step by step, getting closer to the hand.
And you do. You're able to put yourself in between the legs of this sitting statue, and the hand is arched upwards like this.
Okay. And perch the book in such a way that allows him to view it as if he's studying.
As soon as he does, he opens his eyes and he raises his head and he turns to regard you and he says, "Many thanks." And he opens the book. And as he does, then he puts his one hand down and you can hear the grinding of stone as he finds his feet underneath him, raises himself up, dusts himself off regally, and slowly begins to pace back and forth in front of the gap of the gate, flipping through the pages.
What do we say to him?
Excuse me, would you like to hear a joke?
Those that would pun would pick a pocket. And he continues with his book.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay, so why did the bird fall out of the tree?
Gravity. And he walks past you.
No, you're stupid. It was dead.
Dead birds too may fall. And he continues to walk.
Okay, this guy's not fun. You guys talk to him.
Do you have a name, sir?
Do I? I have many names. You may call me Stefan. I believe that's the name that's coming to your mind.
Where did you go?
Where did I go? I've always been here.
You've always been here in the memories of Burkle.
I am Burkle. These are the balances of his life.
Makes sense.
So
What
if
a,
Lady Bright's song is his happiness, Stefan is his mind,
his
his logic, his
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
I like the way you think. And he continues to pace, flipping pages.
What lies on the other side of your door, sir?
What lies on the other side of my door? Well, what would you say lies on the other side of knowledge?
Everything.
But what can only knowledge cure? And what is the only thing that can take logic and silence it? What is the mind killer?
I would say ignorance.
Ignorance is part of it, yes, but what causes ignorance?
Fear.
Yes. Very good. The only thing that can stop us from thinking is fear. Fear is the unknown. Here, you find what's known. He continues to pace.
Oh. This would have
Behind
been
the-
so much easier if we had Kane.
Do you know everything Burkle knows?
No. I only know what he knows. I don't know everything he thinks. But it is here. It is here, and he points up to his doors. And it is there, and there, and there.
If you know what he knows, do you know my sister?
I don't know everything he knows. I know this gate.
Okay, he's not helpful. Let's go.
Hey, do you know the weird lady in the other room?
Oh, yes. She is everywhere. She's behind these doors. She's behind those doors.
How much of those mushroom stuff did that guy use on us? Because I'm very confused.
I apparently I'm smart, but I guess I'm not.
I would open these doors for you. But I think, as you've already said, that wouldn't be good on the balances.
No, so we should go.
But you just tell me when you'd like them open. And I will open them for you. For it is what I'm here to do. It's my purpose.
Thank you for your time.
Oh,
One last question.
yes.
Could you tell us why you didn't want Cain and his brother to see Burkle anymore?
I cannot. But those behind this door likely can. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Okay, to the other door. Let's go. Open now.
Okay, so which one did you want to head to?
Well, we have tears and we have terror. I'm inclined to save Terra for last.
Agree. Let's go to Sadness.
You head to the middle of the balances. You head past the fountain. You can see that the statue inside the fountain of Burkle has shifted once again and is appearing much more relaxed. He's no longer in this upward grimace. You can see Bill Corm is sitting there looking at the statue. It moved. Where were you guys?
Down near the portals where the Luix was strongest.
Oh. Okay. Should I just stay here?
Well, have you heard us at a distance?
I did. I could hear your voice very faintly. You were talking to someone. And I heard
Yes.
laughter.
Okay.
Because I told some really good jokes that were very funny. You missed out. You should have come.
Ah, I love jokes.
I don't know if Bill should come to these next ones, though. There could be something bad behind them.
So if something happened here again and it shifted and we needed to see, you could shout and we'd hear you.
Oh, I can shout. Do you want me to shout now?
No.
No, Bilk, it's fine.
I mean, we should probably test it. I'm just saying.
Let's wait till we get across, and then maybe we can test it.
No. Okay. He sort of releases his breath. Which way are you heading again?
The one with the tears.
You head directly across from where Brightsong was. You've now gone two of the corners, west, north. You're now headed east. No Luhix. The road is dusty and somewhat cold. The stone is gray. You come upon the portal, and there is no Luhix on the portal. What there is a statue cowering and in almost a fetal position off to the one side of the door within the jam, if you can imagine that. Behind these doors, you can hear wailing. You can hear sorrowful cries. And this statue is moving, and it's shuddering. And it has its face obscured from you. And soon you realize the statue is actually sobbing.
Does it look male, female?
Female.
What troubles you?
It says sobbing. Yeah. Everything is lost. No one is gonna love us anymore. And she's holding her face away from you and sort of swatting at the air as if to make you go.
Can I try and put my hand on wherever I could reach, her arm, her leg, or just like a comforting touch?
You can walk to her shoulder if you like.
Yeah.
You reach up on this massive. Stop it. No one's gonna love us. You can't possibly understand. Just leave me alone. Leave us alone.
Does it sound like a voice we've heard before?
Strangely, it sounds like a voice, almost a feminized voice of Burkle. But in this case, where there was the hint of an elven accent on Brightsong, but not her voice, per se. You hear the hint of an accent.
Do you recognize the accent?
You do.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Oh no.
Can I speak to it in Kozakudan?
You can try, yeah.
Okay, I want to try. And I want to ask her or tell her, please show me your face.
You hear her say, I don't understand that. Why are you making fun of us?
Okay, that didn't work. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just trying to help you. I'll say that in common.
Oh, poor baby, she said. You don't know what to do. And she turns towards you, standing up, and brings herself up to her full, about 13 feet. And you can see that it is your sister standing in front of you. Misao. You never meant to hurt us. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. She begins sobbing again.
Well, he didn't mean to hurt her. They were separated. It was all because of Karathur.
No one will ever love us again.
That's a lie.
You don't know that.
I love you.
The moment you say that, you can see that her face relaxes. And for a moment, the wails in behind the door begin to quiet. You know where love is?
Love is everywhere, isn't it?
Perhaps.
But don't ever tell yourself that nobody loves you because I do. You're my sister.
We are
You're
not.
always there for me.
I will help you if I can. You tell me, and I will open these gates.
Why do all these people just want to open the gates? Opening the gates sounds bad.
That is our job. Of course, you wouldn't understand. And she begins to sob again.
I mean, should I tell her a joke or something? I don't know what to do.
Not this time.
Okay.
I think for things to be balanced, as much as it pains me to see her cry, she needs to be sad.
She reaches out and sadly touches your shoulder. And then she turns back towards the door. And you can see her place her hands on it. And suddenly the line in between the two panels becomes more pronounced.
Ooh.
Okay.
You just
just before that happens, we have one more to open first, or at least a house. Can you wait a moment?
I knew you were going to leave me, but fine.
I'm not going to leave you. I'm just going to walk over there. You can still see me.
Just go.
You heard the lady. Let's go.
You step off the platform.
Before I step off, I'm just going to kind of do another little comfort touch. Okay, bye. Type of thing.
And you can see she sort of recoils a little bit at your touch.
Yeah.
You head back down the causeway and to the last remaining arm. Once again, Bill Corum is there. He goes, statue moved again. Hardly at all.
But in what way?
He looked down at me, but his eyes are closed. But his face seems somewhat more relaxed again, and
Well, there's still one more statue for us to talk to first, so maybe after talking to them, his eyes will open.
Sure.
So stay here, Bilk.
you begin to head down the causeway. In front of you stands the back of a cloaked figure. The cloaked figure is got its back to you. It's standing dead center on the doorway. And its one hand is up on the door. And it's breathing heavily like this. And as you approach it, you can see its head ever so slightly cocks, as if to listen to your approach.
Hello.
Shut your face.
Okay, this guy's rude.
Expected that.
You don't know what to expect.
Burkle's voice is ringing. Something strange on the end of it. Behind the doors, you hear shouting. You hear arguing. You hear clashing.
What can I do for you?
Well, first of all, we do not want you to open that door.
The indistinct voice begins to twist suddenly. And he holds out his arm. The one that isn't up against the gate. And into it, you can see, slips down through his sleeve, a long tube. Black tube. In fact, this statue is of black stone. The bridge was of gray-black stone. And sliding into his hand comes a short tube riddled with holes. And then he cackles wryly.
There is no way you can resist Karathur, he says. You have no idea what is about to happen.
And you
Okay,
can see
so-
with his back still to you, he raises this black flute to his lips.
So, if we don't know what's going to happen, maybe you should tell us.
You want to know what's gonna happen?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Unless it's going to make you more mad.
He lowers the flute again. He turns to regard you. You've seen this face before, only a day before. It's the elven face of that shadow-weaving bard that you'd met, seen in the camp.
You.
Like this guy. This guy's bad.
His teeth extend, and he sort of rolls and he says, "You have no idea what's about to happen, and you can do nothing about it." And he places his hands up on the doorway. You can see his back arch. He's holding the flute in one hand as he begins to strike out.
Striking the door?
Yep, and you can see that the line in between becomes more pronounced.
Okay, open the door, open the door, open
He
all
raises
the
the
doors.
flute to his lips and he rips off an exotic Kozakuran sound, and the doorway begins to move and rumble open.
Open the
In,
doors.
in behind it, you see this throng of people. You see several people in front of you, many of which share the same face. You see Stefan there spitting and grabbing at you. You see Miseo just spitting venomous words at you. You see the flautist actually there as well, pacing back and forth. And you see Brightsong throwing her hands in anger. You see other images. Kane's mother. You can see various people, and all of them begin to come to the edge of the causeway and the edge of the doorway. And they're right up against you as this flautist continues to play. And then the throng begins to push past you, and I need you all to roll to make sure that you're not pushed. Are you choosing to retreat, or are you choosing to dodge? They are coming at you as a mass.
I'm running back to Burgle, and
Yeah,
I want to yell at him to tell him everybody else to open up those damn gates.
As you do, okay, so I want you to go ahead and roll a 20. You are running. Everybody go ahead and roll 20.
With what?
I want you to roll 20. I want you to immediately roll athletics or dexterity.
20 even.
Okay.
Just a straight check, nothing, not like.
Yep, please.
21.
15.
This entire balance on this leg begins to tilt up. The causeway directly across from you begins to tilt upwards into the sky. The balance is like it's shuddering as if it's going to want to come apart, and you hear the Reverend Mother's voice ring in your ear saying, "We're losing him!" And Bill Corrin begins to shout, "It's breaking! It's breaking! The rope is breaking!" You can hear him, and then you hear the slosh of water as the fountain begins to spill over top of you. You're clambering up to the fountain. You all begin to reach it as you see many of the people coursing forward are getting bucked and jostled. And in the confusion as the balances are tipped, several are sliding back. Now it's unhinged from the far portal, and they begin to fall off the balances. Several of them disappearing into the darkness, others clamoring. Several of them being pushed over the edge of the portal by the clamor behind them. And there's several hundred of them begin to fall into the deep.
Open the gates, open the gates. Burgle yell,
Yeah.
open the gates.
What was the opposite one to this one?
The opposite one to this one is the eye.
Okay. I'll make my way as quickly as I can. Well, actually, I'll say, okay, split. Everyone go.
Right,
I'll make
song.
my way. Stefan,
Or actually, Rent, Bright Song, I'm going to Misao.
Okay. You break off from where you are now. Geen, you break off to your right. Runt, you break off to your left. Rogar, you charge forward up the rise. And you can see that now the edge of this is descending down, and it's easily 10, 15 feet down to the surface. And you're almost looking eye to eye with the avatar that is there. And he says, "This is not going well for you."
If he turns to regard me, I'll say, "Open the door! Open the door!"
Why would I open it now? They will just fall. They will fall into the nothing.
Balance for his mind. If you have any love for him, balance for his mind.
I have no love, sir, but I know balance. And his huge hands grasp the edge of the scales and begin to haul it down. Push it down, and you can see it coming back up in line. And he pushes it down and he says, "Now we shall open the doors." And you can, from behind him, the doorways begin to open as a portcullis rises. And robed figures, again, several you've seen, several you do not know. There you can see Peter Mournhell, one of the merchants that you've met. You can see the High Harvest Mistress step into this. Bright Song, many others that you have met. And they begin to step onto the balance, giving it weight, and begin to head towards the center. As it comes into contact, an even greater throng of anger comes forward from the other direction. Again, you hear the High Harvest Mistress. She says, "I'm losing him, please hurry!" And you hear Bill Quorum yell out, "The rope is breaking, it's breaking!" Misao stands in front of you, Geen, crying.
In my fervor, I'm just going to be yelling to her in Kozakuran, "Misao, open the door."
"I don't understand you," she screams backwards. In Burkle's voice, feminized.
"Open the gate."
"Okay." And she wipes the tears from her face, puts her hands on the doors and pushes it open. Immediately, these sorrowful, crying people, wiping their tears and looking nervous, begin to push each other onto the balances. Runt, at that moment, you feel a sudden jolt as the edge of your platform is forced upwards slightly. And Bright Song stands in front of you smiling. She says, "I think it's time we act, don't you?"
Yeah, so can you open the door, please?
She raises her flute to her mouth and begins to let off a gentle elven tune which echoes throughout this space over the voices. Her doors snap open, and as if it's a festival or a carnival, these laughing, jumping, smiling people begin to carouse past you, heading at quite a pace into the center of the balance. Where are all of you standing as this is happening, and they are coursing towards Bill Quorum? "What's happening?" You hear him cry. "There's a lot of people here!" And you can faintly make off his small gnomish figure clambering up the form of...
As soon as gates are open, I'm looking at back to Bilk and just grabbing him, making sure he doesn't get squished.
As you do, the forms around you take on a more lively color. They trample the luhics underneath. The smiling and this cajoling is as if you're part of, a Diwali procession or something. It's just like a party as you're running through this. Pardon me, that's Runt. And Geen, as you're running through, there are more sort of people, like nervously looking at one another. The water has stopped sloshing. It's sloshing in the fountain, but it begins to return to its normal current. The cobblestones are wet and soaked in the direction of the anger. This throng begins to head into the middle of this square, and soon it's teeming with people. And you can see an angry Stefan in front of you. Now, Rogar, where are you standing, Thralls? Have you returned to the center as well?
Trying to make my way back to the middle.
You're able to make it, and you soon find all four of you are standing together within the fountain or on its edge, just trying to stay out of this maelstrom. In front of you, you see the likeness of Stefan, yelling and spitting and angry. And the likeness of Stefan come up to him, another likeness of Stefan come up to him, more in his regal cloak. These are people that have emerged from the gates. And he puts his hand on the angry one who goes to strike him, and he holds it. And then they both lower their heads, turn silver, semi-transparent. And in a bit of a bright flash, they turn into several sparks and sparkles and just evaporate. You see a sad, lonely version of Miseo. And you see this beautiful version of Miseo laughing and smiling, come up to the sobbing Miseo. One of them, there's several. She takes her hand, and the two of them dissolve into light. This continues to happen all around you as this group, some angry, some sad, begin to find each other, sometimes in pairs, sometimes four of them at a time, sometimes direct matches of one another, sometimes very different people, where you see a Miseo meet a Bright Song and they find each other, talk for a moment, and then dissolve and evaporate, as if they're sparks from a campfire flying up into the night. There's a steady stream now coming from all of the portals, meeting and converging in the middle. Rogar, Belcorum is tugging at your sleeve and yours, Geen, right next to you. And he looks up at both of you and he says, "Look." And you can see that the statue of Burkle is now looking around, watching this happen. And there's a smile across his face. And he looks down at you with closed eyes, and suddenly his eyes begin to open. I need each one of you to roll a quick athletics or strength check for me. Pardon me, dex or strength.
Okay. So acrobatics is okay. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was a little worried there.
Sorry.
11.
19.
And it's fine.
Oh,
Belcorum, however, is jolted suddenly, hanging onto your sleeves, and he's kind of forced to the ground, and all of you feel your body weight increase suddenly. The entire balance feels as though it's rising very quickly and picking up speed as if it's an elevator. And it begins to course through space, up, 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 up. And you can feel yourself weighed down. The people walking around don't seem to notice, but it's as if you could be pushed into the pavement, as like thrusters of a rocket are pushing you up. Faster and faster you move, and now all of you begin to sense light above you. And this lighted ceiling almost starts to come up, and the light begins to get larger and larger. It's like the end of a tunnel. Brighter and brighter until it's almost blinding. And as the sounds begin to fade around you, each of you begin to open your eyes, laying in the cots in which you were placed. The thrum of the balances fading in your ear. The voices that you'd heard fade behind. And the High Harvest Mistress lays slumped in the corner, breathing short breaths, drenched in sweat, all of her clothing drenched in sweat. And Burkle sits on the side of the bed, hands on his knees, breathing. Cain remains still in his cot. One of the acolytes is giving the High Harvest Mistress a drink.
I'm gonna go up to Kane and just try to sit on his cot and just check his face, check his hands, and just be like, is he okay? Is he stabilized? Is he... What's going on with him?
He's sleeping, near as you can tell.
Okay. You are a tricky man to find, Burkle.
I've not been myself for quite some time. He's gaunt, sweaty, greasy hair draped in front of his face, bare-chested, familiar scars of luhix down his front. The three of you are exhausted, by the way. You are conscious, you're healthy enough, but you are fatigued, to say the least.
This is why I don't sleep in beds.
Well, now that everything's fixed, at least we can rest. But we need answers, and we need to talk. Everyone needs to talk.
Urkel nods slowly as an acolyte hands him a plate of broken bread and a glass of water, and he chews slowly at it, drinking the water carefully, as if it's the first meal he's had in a long time.
Should we wait for Kane to wake before we speak to Burkle?
I mean, it doesn't really look like he's in any condition to start, talking or something.
I would feel rude to speak to him without Kane present.
I mean, he is present, he's right here, he's just not awake.
That's true. But to be able to talk to him properly without Kane being here to do it first seems like I'm taking away something from him.
You can
That's
see
true.
Burkle's eyes are lingering on you, Geen. As if he is scared to break your gaze. He just continues to eat and stares at you rather uncomfortably.
Hey, buddy, stop giving my friend the elevator eyes.
It's an elevator.
I'm sorry. You look like someone I knew.
New or no?
Both, I guess. No.
Because that person that you know is my sister, and I need to find her. And you're my answer to her.
I don't like to speak of her.
Well, you're going to have to.
Your sister, Miseo. He breathes deeply. She is more powerful than Karathur expected. More powerful than I expected.
Kane told me he's heard word of her being called powerful witch. Where I come from, witches aren't good things. Has Karathur done something to her to make her bad?
Karathur leads an army. Karathur turns everything bad.
Did he do this to you?
Karathur does this to many people.
Did he do it to her?
No. She did this to me.
Under his command?
You see something behind his eyes. As if every question you ask is exhausting him more and more. And he begins to swoon slightly. Karathur Karathur is the key to bringing us together.
That's something I'm pretty sure we already know, but what I need to know is about her. I need to know where she is, what he's done to her.
And he kind of grimaces, and you can see that blood begins to pour down one side of his nose. I can't talk of her anymore, he says. And it's as if
Again?
every
King.
question he's answering about your sister is just turning him more pale.
King, if you want me to cut off his fingers, you just say the word.
I'm gonna walk to a far wall and punch it out of frustration.
Sure. Your fist digs deep into the chalk. I'm sorry. I don't have the strength to answer these questions, he says to you, Rogar.
I'm gonna yell at an acolyte and just say, "Fix him!"
Sorry, you're going to yell at who? You broke
And
up.
any acolyte that's in the room, and just point to him and say, "Fix him."
Two of the acolytes walk over and try to help him. He's so tired. He's worn out.
I think there might be something else at work.
Rogar, he reaches out to you, and he says, there are many things at work here. Karathur, if you find Karathur, you can help stop this sickness from spreading across the land.
But beware, because when he knows you're coming for him, his spies are many and his soldiers are many.
I somehow have a feeling he already knows.
This is information we already know. I want to go up to Burkle and get on my knees and try to get in his field of view if he's looking down.
Yep.
And I want to put my hands in his hands and just say, I need to know more about her.
And you can see that it's as if he's going to vomit. And he looks down at you and he says,
You will find her when you find Karathor, and Karathor is in a secret place where they grow the Luhics. You can find the door to that place where his network is strongest. And the network is strongest in Baldur's Gate. But beware.
and with that, he begins to breathe heavily and falls unconscious and back into his cot. And one of the acolytes quickly begins to administer healing and says to you, whatever he just told you almost killed him.
I'll place my hand on Dean's shoulder and bid her rise.
With that, she stands up.
Yeah, I
I
stand.
I think he was hexed. Broken to the point magically of speaking about any topic regarding her or the master. He gave what he could. I know it's not satisfactory, but he gave what he could.
If it's magic we need to break, is this something you think is holding him still?
I don't know. There's
You see-
something that I could try, but it's is related more to normal poisons, things that cause deafening and paralysis. And somehow I think if your sister truly has done something to him, has woven the Luix into his body, then it's beyond my abilities to help him right now.
I want to pull out my bowl and just show it to Rogar and just say, this might help, but I don't know if I should do it. The last time I did it caused lots of harm.
You hear a knocking at the door.
Wait just one moment. Enter.
One of the acolytes goes over and draws back the bolt. The door swings open. Standing in front of you, dressed in gossamer silver, is the Lady Brightsong. And she comes into the room. And that's where we'll stop.
I wanted to take Burkle by the shirt and just be like, tell me what I want to know.
Ron really wanted to cut off his fingers. I'm just throwing that out there.
So, good work, everybody. Well, we don't have a lot of puzzle episodes, so there you go. That's the end of that one. Kane is gonna have to catch up quite a bit when it comes to finding out what his uncle does. What's the number one thing you want to ask him right now, there, Kane?
What in the bloody hell happened to my sister? Why is she so powerful?
All right. Well,
Make sure you hit him like that too when you're asking.
I think you're going to have another couple of chances to see that. In the meantime, as we're coming up on the hour here, I guess we got to figure out how the episode went and if you liked any of the performances by your fellow players. So we're going to go ahead and get that going right away. I think somebody's going to pay us a little visit here and ask about the beans.
It's time for the magic beans. Ho! It's time for the magic beans. Ha! Time for the magic. Time for the magic. Let's see who gets the magic beans.
I love that ending.
There you go. All right. Well, why don't we go around the table? So, Rogar.
Oh, wow. Tonight is a rough one. I like Runt's joke.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Which one?
The first one, the
The
scarecrow.
scarecrow one. It
Add
was just
another one
so
ready.
like it was just so random and out there and just came out of nowhere.
The scarecrow is good. The deadpan of the dead bird was even better because he was not impressed by it because of gravity. Just gravity alone. He was like, yeah. And whether it's a live bird or a dead bird, it's gravity will affect it.
Yeah.
So yes, mine goes to Runt.
Awesome. I'm just to let you know, I'm glitching out pretty bad on my side, so I'm gonna do my best to follow along. Shady.
I want to give mine to Rogar because I was completely useless for that puzzle, and I don't think we might have gotten through that without his insight. So definitely Rogar for that one. Although I did really like Gein's interaction with Burkle, that was pretty cool. But that puzzle solving, ooh.
Yeah.
Right. Luna. One for Runt, one for Rogar.
I'd probably have to go with Runt and give it to Rogar because I was just so confused with this puzzle and just like, please, you take the helm. I will follow you and do whatever you tell me to do.
Yeah. No. Totally.
You are smart, even though you're 6 years old.
Oh, we've got it. All right. Well, we went to the chat, and Chalt is just going to get back to me here. So, I believe Gein wins the vote. Luna wins the vote from our friends out there in Twitchland. So, the Banshee Bean, as we call it now. All the Banshees. The Banner Chance Banshees have
like that.
Voted for Gein. So you have been heard, oh Banshees. And listen to your voices. And the note's just coming in that Geen won for bravery, leaping off the strand, standing up,
Oh,
first move. So
yeah.
excellent. Well done, you. All right. So the end of this count, we have Runt, Rogar, and Geen, and I don't have my counts in front of me. Apologies. So I will add those to our scores next round. But I think we are. Well, we'll announce those next round. That's what we'll do. Okay. So in the meantime, I guess I want you all to have a great week, and we'll talk to you real soon. So I hope you had fun tonight. And thanks
Yes.
very much for tuning in, all of you out there in Twitchland. And thanks for putting up with my weak connection as we're traveling. All right.